Hi guys, 14th of February 2021, Sunday. Piotr here is Liteforex Global YouTube channel. Weekly preview. We are going to talk about the euro dollar. We are going to check the chart of the oil and the gold. Let's check what we have when it comes to the calendar. Monday we have a Chinese bank holiday up to Wednesday, and we do have US bank holiday. So Monday again it might be lack of the liquidity. I would be very careful trying to chase the market. Nothing extraordinary when it comes to the calendar. But Tuesday is gonna be much more interesting with flash European GDP as well as the German ZEF index. Wednesday, totally opposite. We do have retail sales out of the US, and we are going to get the FOMC meeting minutes. Thursday, again, more from the US, right? We are talking about the unemployment claims, building permits, housing starts, so the housing market overall. And Friday, worldwide flash PMI day. All right, so let's have a look what we have when it comes to the charts. Euro dollar. Well, from the bull's perspective, we are done when it comes to the downside, right? 1-to-1 rally to the upside. So I do expect the bulls are somewhere in relation to the previous week open. So we are talking about the levels close to 2050, 2030 as a buying opportunity. What about the sellers? Sellers are higher again, and in that case, well, it's worth to mention, either we are going to make like something like this, so we already did it, and we might see this type of the retest, right? Or something more, taking into the consideration this type of the range over here, right? We did it once, we might try to do it another one. So in that case, levels close to 33.30 could be in place. So overall, sellers, when it comes to the euro dollar, should be more active around 21.80. Yearly open around 22.40, and then swing high finishing the business around 23.10. Now to the downside, as I mentioned, previous week open, so levels close to 20.40 and 20, right? And in case of the lower move to the downside, half of that range, right? Half of that range could be targeted, and we are talking about the levels close to 17.30, 17.40. Well, let's switch lower. Let's have a look what we have short term. In that case, we are still fighting with this 21.30 supply over here, right? There was an attempt to go lower on Friday with the creation of the lower shadow. So sellers, no doubt, have to fight within that range. That's where the sellers have to fight. Now, if we are going to get back above that level, so that's the latest level of the weakness. So we are talking about the almost 150-200 pips. So with the retest of that level, right, from here, we might expect 22.80, the levels we discussed a second ago on the weekly, to see the rally, this type of the rally. So overall, the line in the sand for upcoming week is the current level of the euro dollar. All right, so let's have a look what we have when it comes to the crude oil. Well, there was a line break, there was some kind of the retest on Friday, right? Thursday and Friday, we moved lower, we retest first line of the defense, and then with low liquidity suddenly jumped up. So if you are trading, that's the very important thing, if you are trading oil, well, especially on the short side, right? So that was your zone of exit, taking into the consideration the 58.45. Now this 58.45, 58.50, that's the level of the possible demand. So let's check the bigger picture. Let's check the weekly chart where we are. All right, we went well above mid range of that previous consolidation which been broken to the downside like this. All right, so what we are testing, there is a huge possibility we are going to get higher at the beginning of the week to test the possible supply. What we are talking about? We are talking about the combination of the 6150 as high as 65. That's based on the weekly. Let's switch lower. Let's switch to the daily chart and let's have a look what we have here. If we are going to talk about this level of the possible supply, taking into the consideration where we are, right? So I see two zones of the supply. I see 63 and then 64.75. What about the demand? In case of the demand, in case you wanna try to trade it to the upside, well, still no change in view. That's the level of the demand. Rally based rally. So in that case, we are talking about the levels below 55 down towards 53, 52, 50 when it comes to the oil. Let's have a look. Let's have a look daily chart, right? And oops, I'm sorry. Let's have a look daily chart, and here we have the levels we discussed second ago, the zone of the possible consolidation and the rally from that particular zone. Finally, intraday chart here. From that perspective, it could be that what we did to the downside, we are going to make to the upside. In that case, we are going to retest the broken trend line again. So from the very short-term perspective, right, the retest of that broken trend line, okay, that could be the setup to try to eventually look for selling opportunity. Where the buyers? Buyers for sure closer to 58 and again lower down towards 57.30. So that's how I see the things related to the oil. And finally, gold. There you go. Bulls were trying over the course of the week. Unfortunately, we're not able to hold above 1850. Right, move down. So we are the line, small line in the sun. Again, still based on what we've seen, I do expect a little bit lower levels down towards 1700. All right, how shall we try to approach this type of the setup? Well, I think that there is a possibility of the swing high. We haven't make it nicely and exactly looks like, so finishing the business 1850, that's the possible supply level. Invalidation above 75, that could provide the opportunity to retest 1920 to the downside. That's how I see the things, 1775 and then 1700. With that being said, guys, be very, very careful with the liquidity, or maybe different way, lack of liquidity, all right? But the things should get back to normal during the second half of the week. All the best, take care, see you around, goodbye.